Welcome to CBN4's Primetime News. I am your presenter, Marissa Stedman. I'm in the capital of Rosa right now, and if you look behind me, here's the Astafans building. Right now there are long lines of people. People are trying to get into the supermarket. Astafans is one of the only few supermarkets still left, still fully stocked and able to cater to the public. I don't know how they're attempting to get people in, if there's a number of persons who can walk in. I don't know what the process is. I haven't been able to speak to anyone in management, but at the time I can tell you this, Rosa is pretty busy on the street. There are numbers of people from all parts of the country trying to get into Astafans to get their supplies. Astafans still has food supplies. They were not particularly looted. They were not victims of looting. So fortunately for us, for those persons who want to come in and get their supplies, they could come down to Astafans. But I can tell you this, it's going to be a pretty long day because the lines are only getting longer. CBN4 is now officially in the Astafans building. As we can see, it appears that they are only catering to a few persons at a time. I'm going to attempt to speak to one of the persons in management, hopefully Ms. Giselle Astafans, so that she can give us some more information. Because as I tell you, crowds are lining up outside the building. People are getting hostile. It's very crowded. So we need to know what's going on in here at Astafans. Are they going to cater to only a selected number of persons? What is the process? CBN4.
Yeah, hi, Giselle Astafan, and first of all, let me just sympathize with everybody for this tragic occurrence in our dear sweet island. I mean, it's still mind-boggling. I'm still trying to get a grip with what happened, and you know, heartfelt expressions. We have to just try and fight and move forward as best as we can.
Open today?
Yes, we are. In the best way we can, we officially open, yes.
Will you be open every day and what time?
Well, from 10 to 2 for now, until we see how things move along, until we see how we can control, like the crowd controls themselves to enter, because I would encourage the public, be orderly, please, because when you're not orderly, you're preventing everybody from operating smoothly. You're preventing people. We could let more people in. If it's orderly, more people can come in. If you're creating havoc out there, I know everybody is desperate and they want to buy stuff, but the more disorderly we are, the less time people have, the less we can serve people, the less people we can all let in. So be orderly. We can let in more people if everybody just orderly lines up and waits, to come in.
Is there a designated number of people who can enter the building?
Well, for now we're saying 30. We're saying 30 because we want security is our interest right now for our staff, for everybody, even the patrons waiting outside.
So what sort of security measures are you guys taking?
Well, we have our own private security, which is Francois Security, and we're working with the Commissioner of Police, and we've been provided with armed forces outside.
Does Astafans have enough supplies for everyone?
Well, I don't think we have enough for the entire of Dominica, we certainly have some supplies, and we're open to the public. We're definitely not for everybody. And I hope there's enough relief on island, which I believe there might be. Building where gunshots were heard fired outside. Everyone seems to be crowded in the area, so we're going to go outside to see exactly what has happened. A gunshot was heard echoing outside of the Astafans building. Our cameras are going to attempt to find out what was going on. Was it just the police trying to calm everybody's down? The crowds are getting larger by the numbers, and of course people are getting a lot more hostile. Was it the police, or was it just a random commuter trying to get into the Astafans building? Dominica, well known for having an abundance of water, but especially known for its quality of good homegrown Dominican food. Unfortunately for most of us, after the passing of Hurricane Maria, we will seldom find any good ground provisions
to stir up our pots. We are especially thankful. I'm standing on Kennedy Avenue where one vendor has a few supplies. She has a few bananas, plantains, and a few tanya. So for those persons who are seeking to get some ground food, you can get it here on Kennedy Avenue. Unfortunately, there's not going to be too many vendors having those supplies. We are going to have to get used to eating a lot more rice, a lot more macaroni, and relying a lot more on food supplies from the relief agencies. We're hoping that the Ministry of Agriculture and the Prime Minister of Dominica is seeking to implement some programs that can really help farmers to boost back the farming industry and undergo a whole replanting farming system. I'm Marissa Stedman reporting for CBN4 News, Dominica. Let's go to Commissioner Dominic. She's standing outside the fire station where she has met up with a volunteer group.
Today, CBN4 News caught up with Her Worship, the Mayor of Roseau, Mrs. Irene John. I was almost unable to identify her in those clothes, and it's really good to see someone of such a high power position on the ground in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, getting things done with her truck there. I am assuming with a volunteer team getting the city cleaned up. Good day to you, Mrs. Irene John. It's such a pleasure to see you on ground doing what you know best to do. Tell us about the team you're in charge of today.
Well, everyone knows that Dominica is less than 95%, destroyed by Hurricane Maria. But at the same time, we are strong people, and we are doing everything within our powers to fight back and to get Dominica back on its feet. Especially Rosa, we are the mayor, well, we are fortunate to have a group of persons here from Venezuela who came in, and Josiah Binwa introduced me to them, and I was very happy when he took that initiative to have them work with the council. So far, as you know, it's a lot of cleaning to do. It's a challenge, but then what we are doing, we are targeting critical areas. So St. Martin's School, they were able to do some repairs to the school, St. Martin's School, so that the school can be reopened. And after that, they asked, well, Madam Mayor, where next? So we decided, well, to go to Foncolé, way up to Glasgow. And you should see us yesterday, really negotiating that hill up to Glasgow. And they got there, and most of the loose galvanizers all over the place, they were able to move them, flatten them, and put them in an area where collection can be done. But we have a challenge, and that is to get trucks to remove the debris after they have collected all this stuff and pack them in a particular place. They do not want to leave it there because they feel that the job is not complete. So right now, what we're trying to do is get a truck to, after they have collected the rubble, to get a truck and to move it from the area, so at least you will say, well, they're satisfied, they have completed that area. They also went to the city council office where we had a lot of mud, a lot of debris, and the overseer's office was completely uncovered, and they covered at the Roseau City Council building. They covered the overseer's office let's say up to 95%. At least they can be in there if no rain. So that we're very satisfied about, and they hose down the entire compound, a lot of mud, a lot of debris, and you should have seen us. A lot of mud, we were actually, moving in mud.
I can well imagine.
Yeah, and they were very, very, very happy to do that because they're satisfied that they're getting things done in the country. And what I like about them is that they do not want to be idle by. They want to make sure that they're involved. They want to know that they're working, and they're really working. So right now we are on our way. You just happen to catch us in time. We're on our way to Foncolé to continue with Miss Lucy Matthew, who is the coordinator and also a counselor, in the area, and she's working with them. She called me this one and said to me, Madam Mayor, I'm very satisfied with the help that we got from them yesterday. So let us hope they can continue being with us for, let's say, for the next 2 weeks to see how much we can get done from them. We are very, very happy and very satisfied that they're here to be here with us. And if you notice, I'm wearing a shirt because they decided I must be part of the team, and they gave me a shirt, so I'm wearing my shirt.
I'm really happy to see that someone of your caliber to be here on ground in the city of Roseau. Can you tell us how soon we may be able to see the city of Roseau clean?
Well, Well, that is a challenge because they're trying their best. Other groups, Iron Rose are trying to clear the city. But from what we have noticed, it's a lot of work. But if everybody put their heads and their hands and their heart together, we will get it done in the soonest possible time. We just have to tell ourselves, look, we have to do it. And we cannot wait people from outside to come to do it first. We have to do it for ourselves. And I'm appealing to all those guys that are around the place, just riding around on motorcycles and just sitting at corners, and to get involved with a group and do some work, because we have to do it for ourselves. So a lot of young men and women around the place just scouting around and doing nothing. They must find out where they can assist, where they can get involved with a group and to do some work so we can get this country going back on its feet.
Thank you so much, Your Worship, Irene John. About you, how did you get involved in assisting Dominica at such a trying time?
Well, my name is Ken Weber. I'm the port captain actually aboard the Freewinds cruise ship. Yes. Freewinds is, Dominica is one of our, quite frankly, favorite ports to call, a beautiful island. And when we saw what happened, we had to pitch in from the Freewinds. Okay. The Freewinds is actually chartered by the Church of Scientology, so that's the connection with the volunteer ministers. This is actually not my first time. I was here on Erica as well. Okay. For disaster relief, but I come all the time with the Freewinds as my regular job.
Tell us more about this mission you're on here at this time.
Well, the Scientology volunteer ministers work around the world at disaster relief sites. Yes. They travel to any major disaster relief, and they were very good with logistics and organizing, but also we get in there and dig out and take down all the corrugated metal that's laying around and pile it up, and whatever it takes, we'll pitch in. In fact, that's why we have a group here from Venezuela, because all of my English-speaking volunteer ministers are up in Houston and Florida, and so we got a lot of work to do here in the Caribbean.
How far are you in your mission? Are you 3/4 ways, or still halfway, or still 25%?
My gosh, looking around this island, it's heartbreaking, but there's a long way to go. I don't think we're at 1% of the way. There's so much work to do. But however, we've been here a little over 2 weeks now. We're here at the fire and ambulance service. That's who we started working with. And right at the beginning, we were going into the villages and just finding out who's there, who's alive, what's helping to assess the damage, so we can figure out what needs to be done.
So do you need local assistance to get the job done to the capacity that you are satisfied before you go back?
Absolutely. It's like the mayor was saying, let's get the guys that are, I can imagine after an impact like this, you're heartbroken. You go down to apathy, but let's get the local guys pitching in with it. We'd be happy to have them, It makes a bigger team. We have 17 people here, but if I had 170, we'd be busy all day, So if we could join up with any local guys that want to pitch in, we'd be more than happy to have them on board.
Reporting here in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that report. In other stories, although Hurricane Maria can be considered to some as something in the past, the dangers are still lurking. If you look above me at the government headquarters, you can see that there's an old air-conditioned unit hanging from the building. So persons must be particularly careful. There are a lot of things that can still damage life and property all over the place. Remember, the capital of Roseau is not clean. Their works are ongoing inside of the government headquarters. There's people from all sectors of the public sector volunteering to clean up the property. Just earlier, I met 10 Haitian nationals who volunteered to clean up part of the ministry building. So we have to be particularly cautious during this time so as to avoid any additional danger. CBN4 is still in the Stockholm area. Presently, we're standing in an area where a Venezuelan company named Petrocasa 4 or 5 years ago, they donated homes to some of the residents in this area. Unfortunately, because of Hurricane Maria, most of the residents here have lost their homes. They're reduced to simple rubble. This house behind me, it's rather devastating news. One of the residents here lost her life in an attempt to save 3 more people. It appears that part of the structure collided on her and she died. We spoke to a resident who lives next door. She's hoping that funds can be allocated to assist not just her, everyone in this area and around Dominica, but she has to admit it's gonna be quite a task because the damages are great and the cost, it's pretty expensive.
My name is Emilia Andre. Well, we get the land. Well, they call us in 2013 and they tell us our name approved for land because I go to the Prime Minister. And then in 2014 I moved in. So it's 4 years since I inside there. I was the last person to move in any case in everybody. And I'm the only person that leave my house for the hurricane. My house, half of the house. And the structure standing still doesn't make sense because it have no steel in the building. That's just a death trap. So in time to come, I would have to still have break it down. So if I get some tarpaulin or some galvanized to cover the back, I will do it and stay still, but then it have to break down. My neighbor on the other side, a girl by the name of Davina Ismail, she died. She was about 26, 27, about that.
Do you have any idea how she died?
Well, I wasn't there because I would leave my house and go, but I understood that her son, her sister, and another one was lying on the floor. So when she's leaving coming, she lied down on them, so she get all the impact. So she saved free life. That's what I understood. I don't know how true it was. Oh. Yes, that's what her son, her sister, and another friend of us, they wanted from. And I understood it happening in the journey part. That is the journey part. So when I come the next day, they told me that I myself, I leave early. I leave there after they take the water, I leave and go. The roof gone, and then we don't even know where to start to clean because the place is so in a mess. So they're trying to cover the roof now. And when they cover the roof, then we can start maybe doing some clean up because they gather some galvanized in the yard. And then maybe, and I also work in the solid waste too. We don't have office neither. Solid waste is down. So, you know, so I don't even know if I have a job. But then I get in 6 years next year. My plan was to retire, so I guess maybe the government will consider me.
CBN4 is going to continue to watch. We're going to attempt to try to see as much communities in Dominica and give an update as to what is happening and how are people impacted by the effects of Hurricane Maria. CBN4 News, Marissa Stedman. I'm standing at the Woodbridge Bay Port in Fort Collet. Of course, this morning, long lines were seen protruding out of this area. This is the area of exit out of Dominica on the ferry terminal. So persons who are traveling to other Caribbean islands hoping to escape the effects of Hurricane Maria, this is where they come to. Of course, at this point, we've seen a lot of calm has taken place. The lines are a lot shorter now, so it seems that a lot of persons has already left the island. It is expected that this area is going to be pretty busy Monday to Friday during the week. As I said in earlier clips, a lot of people have decided to leave the island of Dominica because things are pretty crucial right now. We're attempting to speak to management. Hopefully we'll get a response from them. Is it true that you can simply put out your birth certificate and travel to other Caribbean islands? Is this just a rumor? Where is the ferry terminal going to? Are other Caribbean islands taking people? There's so many questions that we need to ask, yet we're getting so little responses. Our cameras are going to continue to watch as the story unfolds. I said that the lines were short, but in a span of a few minutes, just look behind me. Look at the number of people who are waiting in line to exit out of Dominica. It is pretty crowded and people are pretty anxious to get out of the country. You give one, do you okay? Huh? CBN4 News, Marissa Stedman. CBN4 has just arrived at the entry bridge into Roseau. Let's go to Commissioner Dominic.
About 18 days after Hurricane Maria, I'm standing here on the E.O. Libla Bridge, right where traffic would be traversing into town, and the arch would have been at the back of me in the background, but it's totally and completely bent. It's just broken, as you can see, and I am assuming that the force of the water and all the trees and the logs that came down broke the arch, the pillars which held the arch. So you can tell that the Hurricane Maria was indeed a severe Category 5 storm, which totally and completely devastated us here on the Nature Isle. And as you can see for yourself, 18 days after, there's still a lot of debris, although you can see trucks all around the area clearing stuff, but it's a lot of work to be done to get us back to where we were. So I'm just letting you know that it's pretty heartbreaking for me. I almost cannot comprehend the damage that the storm did to our lovely Nature Isle, and parts of the railings of the bridge are completely broken, and this bridge was recently renovated, recently painted over, and now it's almost you can't use it, and this bridge is the major hub to get into the city of Roseau. So we'll take you on the other side of the bridge so you can get a better view as to what the Hurricane Maria did to us here in Dominica. A very sunny day here on the Nature Isle, and I'm standing on what would have been the pedestrian sidewalk of the E.O. Libla Bridge. That's the bridge leading into the city via Independence Street. So you can see for yourself all around me. It's just huge stems of trees. I have no idea where the trees came out from, but you can see that the bridge seemed to have tried to withstand the impact of the amount of debris that was coming on the bridge at the time. But unfortunately, the bridge looks like it is totally ruined, and in spite of the yellow and black tape that's put up, pedestrians are still using the bridge. I feel unsafe standing here because it's a bit shaky, and right in front of me I can see that the soil is cracked, so we don't know at any moment, we don't know what could be holding this down. If we get another shower of rain, sometimes a piece of a log that's holding it up or whatever could be washed away, and this bridge at any given moment could just collapse. So we have to be very careful and exercise extreme caution when passing here on the E.O. Leblanc Bridge. So we at CBN4, we continue to cover the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, and indeed it's something we want to recover from as quickly as possible, but we must take it slow as we clean up and we clear up and we get ready to live in what seems to be a new Dominica. So please wear your face mask if you're coming into town and you're viewing this on Facebook. Wear your face mask because the dust, it is very, very, very heavy, and you don't want to get any sort of complications from the dust. My name is Kamisha Dominique, reporting here live on the E.O. Leblanc Bridge leading into the city. So take care and be safe. We continue to keep the faith for all of us.
I'm in the Stock Farm area right now. Presently, I'm at the Dominica State College, or college in Dominica, situated on Stock Farm Heights. It is very evident that Hurricane Maria has left tons of devastation. When our cameras roll for you, you'll see that there are tons of debris. Huge trees have fallen. Majority of the faculties, majority of the buildings, the offices have been destroyed. A lot of the roofs, except for those roofs that were built with concrete, are uncovered. It is very unclear right now as to when the Dominica State College will open. I did hear from one of the students that some of the students will be flown over to other Caribbean territories to pursue their studies, but only those with the highest GPA. We don't know how true that is. We're still seeking more information from it. Right now, the Dominica State College appears like a ghost town. There's hardly anybody there. I only saw 1 or 2 students hanging around the area. So we're hoping to catch up with at least one faculty member, a teacher, a professor, who can give us a little more information on that. Of course, I will reiterate that the Dominica State College is badly devastated by Hurricane Maria. Most of the faculty areas, most of the buildings are uncovered. The very small agricultural plot that was in this area is totally destroyed. We're hoping for restoration, but of course we have to keep a positive spirit. We do want to know what are the plans that are being made for the students at the Dominica State College, because we have to continue. We have to continue to further educate ourselves. Thank you for listening. This is CBN4 News, Marissa Stedman.
My name is Edgar Hunter, Director of Student Services, Dominica State College. As a result of Hurricane Maria, and as you can see, the college was badly affected. In collaboration with the government of Barbados and Caribbean Development Bank and the Dominica State College and the Dominica government, 50 students should be leaving Dominica to attend the Barbados Community College somewhere early next week.
Is it only those with the highest GPA?
Well, they are selected based on their highest GPA. So that is the selection, and also those who are very involved in the community, so they have good community spirits, always willing to volunteer. So a few of them were chosen on that too, but most are on GPA. Colleges will be open within the next 6 months. As you can see, we were badly devastated not only by the hurricane, but we were also affected by Hurricane Lutin too. So therefore, we are now cleaning up, clearing up. We have to get some of our roofs back, but as a college we are resilient and we will find a way to start school very soon.
Glass, tables and chairs upside down, doors were blown in. So much has happened. Hurricane Maria, it is clear that you made quite a statement when you arrived on our beautiful island, Dominica. Of course, you've impacted every sector of our economy, but particularly our education. We need to move forward, and of course, our students need to be educated. What is going to be the outcome of this? When is school going to open? The repairs, they look intense. I can already see that it's going to cost a lot of money to repair all of the damages that has been done to the Dominica State College. This is especially why donations must be sourced from all over the world to assist Dominica to restore our country back to normalcy and to get our students back in the classroom where they belong. And that's all for today's edition of our Primetime News on CBN4. I'm your presenter, Marissa Stedman. Of course, you can like us on Facebook or visit our webpage at www.cbn4.com. And if you'd like to make donations to relief organizations, you could visit Dada or GoFundMe online, where you'll find a list of organizations that are willing to receive funding from persons in the public. Thanks again for watching.
Hi, my name is Cyndian Currency from Digicel. This is another public service announcement. Service has resumed for Digicel customers in the Grand Bay and Loda Main Road communities. Customers already connected are those in Canefield East, Canefield Proper, Massac, Maho, Jimette, Portsmouth, Salisbury, Grand Savannah, Castle Comfort, Glasgow, Great George, Layou, Canefield, Roseau, Layou and Hillsborough Estate, and Fond-Collet. The restoration of Digicel sites at Mount Bruce, Portsmouth North, and its 4G site at the stadium has re-established service for customers in Kings Hill, sections of Loubier, Bath Estate, Louisville, sections of Newtown, Lagore, Bay Street, Grange, sections of Tan, areas near the Savannah, Emsall, and Paybush. Digicel's engineers remain committed to working on total network restoration in the shortest possible time. Thank you.